that's the worst mistake of all time. It's like, no, it's probably the worst mistake of all time if you picked wrong, obviously. But like, I picked fucking right. Welcome back to Beyond the Build. This is episode number 4 of this new rebranding of a podcast. I'm excited to, dive into a little bit about what's been going on. Some big life-changing events has happened that most entrepreneurs don't even talk about, which is kind of troubling in a sense, because it's very important. But yeah, we're gonna dive into that. I mean, basically in this month, in May, which this might be posted in a few weeks, but so whatever. This May, I asked Caitlin to marry me in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Finally, we made that commitment. She said yes after saying "shut the fuck up." So that's always funny. We got some good photos, had some good times. But yeah, it's something that's really important in my life. Obviously, I believe it's one of the most important decisions that you make in your life, and it can actually, make or break, or really jeopardize your life if you choose wrong. Because your partner they're your teammate for life, right? And it's very important to have a good teammate for life that supports you, that you can support, and you can get through the battles of life's journey, because it's not easy. Life isn't easy. If you think life's going to be easy, then you're going to be depressed all the time, because it's not, right? If you want to do anything in life, it's going to take some work, and it's going to take some battles. But yeah, I'm not going to get all into the lovey-dovey, personal stuff, but I do want to relate that decision to my businesses and my entrepreneurial journey, and why it's just so important. If you go home and you have a question mark at home on who you married, or you don't have someone in your life that's kind of a support cast for you, which some people's fine with that. Some people don't really want to get married. They just want to, be a lone ranger their whole life, which is fine. It's cool. But most people don't want to die alone, to be honest. That's what you're setting yourself up for if you don't get married. So, but yeah, I'll talk a little bit about, why, I'm 32 years old, why I kind of waited, I guess. People say, they were asking me all the time, why, how haven't you got engaged yet? Why haven't you found the one, etc. Like I'm 32. I'm definitely one of the later in my friend groups, or people that I know that have got engaged. Aside from, entrepreneurs, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are my age that are not even in relationships. And it's mainly because they're just focusing on their business more than anything else, which is kind of what I was doing. But I'll dive into that a little bit. And then, how your mindset shifts from, and this should be a mindset shift when you are considering getting into a relationship anyway, from me and into we, right? Because it's not just all about you. It's about you guys as a team, and making sure that you're picking the right person that will, use the term we as well, and not just care about themselves. And then we'll talk a little about how entrepreneurs don't really think about this or talk about this too much, and it can, there's horror stories of people that make the wrong decision, get into relationships too fast, choose the wrong person, don't even talk about like real deep conversations that you should be talking about before you get married, and then finding out later on that it's not going to work. I mean, that's why the divorce rate is so high. It's like 50+%. And I don't know what the last stats are, but that's what I read. So don't quote me on that, but it is insane, the divorce rate lately. And I think it is because of that. People just don't communicate well. They don't talk about real shit. They don't talk about their future vision. They don't align themselves with the right person. They don't get on the same page, and that causes you to, once you choose a life partner and you start unraveling that onion, or learning more about what their goals are, and you didn't talk about it before, it could be totally a 180 from what you're trying to do, which then tears apart marriages. So yeah, I mean, it's all about just communicating. But yeah, I'll dive in a little bit about what we did. Yeah, I'm 32. Am I 32? I'm turning 32. I might be 31. How old am I? I'm turning 32 in June. Sorry. I'm at that age. I feel like when you get over 30, you just forget what your age is and you're like, what age am I? I guess I'm 31 and I'm turning 32 in June. So it's almost my birthday. So everybody, say happy birthday to me. Thank you. But I did not propose, younger. I had a lot of relationships. I was like head over heels for some people. I thought I was in love. But luckily I didn't propose because I think those were the wrong people at that time. Um, and I waited because I was trying to find myself. I didn't In the beginning. I didn't really know myself. I was trying to figure it out. Didn't really love myself, so I used a lot of that time to explore, try out different things. I went to college, tried to be a physician assistant, realized that wasn't for me. Got into entrepreneurial stuff, started into sales, got into real estate, and now I'm here kind of doing lending in real estate, and then fix and flips, new builds, long-term rentals. Want to get into commercial properties, expanding within my entrepreneurial journey, and we'll see where that takes me. But it took me like 10 years to figure out that I even wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? I thought I was always scared of it. I didn't really understand the process of it. I thought it was not obtainable. I followed a society to just get like a 9 to 5 job, which is nothing wrong with that. If you get, if you love what you're doing, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Being an entrepreneur is not all fun too. It's like you're sacrificing a lot of your freedom. Even though people say being an entrepreneur is so free, it is. I can choose my own schedule and I can do what the heck I want, but I'm not getting a consistent paycheck from someone else. I'm relying on myself, and then other people are relying on me. So that makes it so I have to keep putting in the work, right, for my business to grow it. Um, but yeah, I think ever since I was younger, I just took a while to make decisions. I was analytical and I was logical, and I weighed the pros and cons to decide what to do. And I did that with relationships too. Apparently, maybe if I wasn't trying to, subconsciously I was. But I ended up finding Caitlin, and we vibed right off the bat. We talked about our vision. We talked about what we were doing. We talked about our goals, and we just aligned on a lot of stuff together. Our values, our beliefs, where we want to live. What we see in 10 years. Like for us, it's like we want to both get a shit ton of land, so like 100 acres of land and like the mountains with like farm animals. Maybe we'll lease out the land to farm animals so we don't have to really take care of them, but we have the ambiance of it. We kind of want a family compound type thing. Maybe our parents or family can live there too, but we won't see them because it's so much land that's far away. Um, and yeah, we have businesses that kind of just run themselves to the point that we don't have to put too much input into it, so we can enjoy the fruits of our labor and that land. And we can homeschool our kids. We can give our kids an amazing life, never miss a baseball game or soccer game or event that they have, always be there for them. Teach them the hard lessons that they need to know. I always envision like waking up on just like a custom home that I built, not me physically, like put together the plans and got built right on just a ton of land with mountains, in the background, and just getting up and seeing my kids like run around on the land, like maybe go like feed the goats or something and feed the chickens, and then we can just hop like on our gators or quads and just like go down to like another pasture and maybe see like the cows. Maybe go check out the horses that we lease to horse farmers. And just like enjoying that ambiance and just do whatever the hell we want the first couple hours of the day. Um, like that freedom and just living an unhurried lifestyle is like our vision, right? Now, if I got into this relationship without talking about that stuff and she wanted to, live by the beach in the city, wanted to hustle and bustle all the time, didn't have this vision of having freedom and, the same as me, and I didn't talk about that, and then we go and get married and I find that out later, like that's how relationships get messed up, right? Or like kids, right? Like we both want to have kids. We still fight about it. Not fight, but we always still discuss it. I want 3 kids. I want 3 kids and one has to be a boy. Um, she just wants to. It's her ultimately it's her decision. I mean, I can't, you know, force the kids situation. She does have the twins gene though, so maybe she has twins. Maybe we have one boy and then she has twins and luck of the draw, I just win, you know. But yeah, we'll see about that. But we both want kids, and that's the point, right? Like if you don't have those conversations up front that are real and like matter, and then you get into a relationship and you're not having those conversations, like what are you doing? It's the same thing with like a business partnership, right? Like why you don't just get into a business partnership with someone because you both like real estate. Like you want to know exactly what your goals are, like what you want for the business, what you want the business to give to you, right? What your values are, your morals. And if you don't align on it, like you should not be business partners. It's just not going to work, right? So, yeah, I mean, you just got to communicate. You got to communicate right, right? So, that's a little bit about just like why I kind of waited. I didn't rush into getting married or anything. I was still figuring out myself. I still am figuring out myself. Like I'm 31. I'm still trying to figure out like what the hell I'm doing. I have a better idea. Like I want to build this, flip fuel lending. I want to build tied in timber ventures to continue doing flips and new builds. And then flip fuel lending is like my scalable company that I really want to grow because I just love the lending atmosphere and I think it's really scalable. Like you can scale that to like have an exit of, I don't know, 100 million eventually, right? Because maybe we're funding a 500 million to $1 billion of loans and we have funds raised, we got warehouse lines, etc., right? And we control our own lending sphere, which would be amazing because utilizing, other lenders guidelines is just a pain in the ass. I want to be like the creative financing, you know, lender that can help all these investors get into deals and be successful instead of having the same cookie cutter guidelines that all these other lenders have. Granted, in the beginning, you have to kind of use those guidelines to protect yourself, but I'm excited to grow and become a different type of beast within that market. But yeah, and then I don't even know what I was talking about. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, that I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have those ideas of what to do, right? But there's other things on my mind I want to do. Like I want to own part of a lacrosse team. I played lacrosse in college. Like that would be sick. And I think it's still attainable to purchase a piece of it. It's only like a couple $1,000,000 compared to like a football team, which might be like hundreds of millions, right? Um, and I just love sports and stuff, so I would love to just be involved in that. Um, and then I don't know, like maybe join like a small town, like where we live in like a small town. Maybe join like the community or like the like politics within that town and actually help give back to the community, help decorrupt or maybe it's not corrupt, but like most politicians are pretty corrupt, but help actually make an impact within a society that I live in, which would be amazing, right? Um, but again, like those are just ideas that I have. Like I still am trying to figure it out along the way. My vision has become more narrow. Like I'm still figuring it out, but it's becoming clearer the older that I get. You're not supposed to know exactly what you want to do. My plan could switch up in a year or two. Is it still going to be pointing me towards my long-term vision of having 100 acres and living free? Yeah, because that's like my long-term vision. That's what I want, that freedom. Now, is the vehicle to get there going to change? Maybe. But yeah, it all comes back to just like, you know, aligning your vision with your partner is and picking the right partner that supports you and understands what you're doing and vice versa. You support them and understand what they're doing. It's a cheat code, right? Because now you have this teammate that's going to be with you for life, that is going to go through the highs and the lows and just work with you. It's an ultimate cheat code. Um, and some people come to, when I tell people I got engaged, they're like, "Oh, that's the worst mistake of all time." It's like, no, it's probably the worst mistake of all time if you picked wrong, obviously. But like I picked fucking right. So that what the hell are you saying? Right? It's like I don't know. It's the biggest decision of your life. Like business aside, it's the biggest decision of your life, and you have to be certain about it, and you have to pick the right individual. And even related to business, it's the biggest business decision of your life. If you have businesses and then you have a significant other that isn't contributing or helping or supporting those businesses, Like it's just not gonna work, right? So anyway, I'll stop talking about that. Let's see, what else was I supposed to talk about? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So like I keep talking about a 10-year vision, right? And like how important that is. But like once you get engaged or start committing to a person that you're going to marry, it starts becoming not a 10-year vision, it's like a 30-year vision. It's like a 40-year vision because now you're thinking more about legacy. Like how am I gonna, you know, create a life that I can leave behind to my kids and my grandkids and like, my family and etc. Right? So when it's just yourself, it might be like a 10-year vision, but like now I'm thinking about like what do I want to be in 30 years? When I'm 60, what do I love? Like 70, what do I want to do? When I'm like getting close to my deathbed, like what do I want to have built that I can leave behind that just helps enhance my bloodline for the rest of hopefully my bloodline's like life. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. It's like once you commit to someone in that way, you start thinking even further and it gets exciting, right? Yeah, yeah. And then it also makes you reconsider like each deal that you do, right? So even like in for real estate or each business decision that you make, you're making it not just for yourself anymore. You're making it for um your family, right? And we don't have a family yet. It's just me and Caitlin. But now I'm starting to make decisions based upon which I was doing before, but now it's like locked in. And once we get married, it's super locked in. Um, but it's making decisions for us now, right? It's not just me anymore. So it's a cool mind reframe. And some people talk about it like it's an issue. I don't. I think it's a superpower. And I think when you have kids too, it's a superpower. Um, I mean, I've seen it firsthand with people that I know, friends I know, like they get married, they start kicking even more ass, especially if their partner is supportive and awesome. And then they have kids, and all of a sudden they're like literally Superman, and their businesses explode. It's like I don't know, something to it if you get the right partner and the right family going, right? It gives you a different type of meaning in life, right? So yeah, I want to dive in a little bit before I get off. It's just like entrepreneurs don't really talk about this enough, right? They always talk about the business. They talk about what they're doing in business, talk about the daily tasks that they do. How do you get more marketing? How do you get more leads? How do you do more sales? Blah, 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 blah. And then they don't really talk about the burnout too much, the mental battle that you're having every single day. Um, and they also don't talk about like the issue when you're an entrepreneur and you have a different mindset. It is hard to find a person that vibes with you and supports you, right? It might take longer to find that person because there's not a lot of entrepreneurs out there that have the mindset that that we have, right? Or go-getters, like people that even if you're in a 9 to 5, like an entrepreneur or whatever, like go-getters that just want to continuously to do better. There's really not a ton of people that you can meet like that. And the main reason is because they're out there kicking ass and they don't have time to go on like dating apps. They don't have time to go out to the bars. They don't have time to go out to the clubs. You have to like literally meet them at like entrepreneurial events, like networking events. Um, that's why I always say like networking events are fantastic to just not only meet friends and people, but you can meet like your significant other there too, right? Masterminds, clubs that you pay to be in that are like entrepreneurial focused. They're great, right? It can be life changing. I know so many entrepreneurs that just cannot find someone. Like they have everything else lined up: their business, their finance, uh, their health, right? But it's always a relationship. It's the last thing. They're like, I can't find someone to build a family and a life with. It's like, okay, well, you have to treat it, like it's a goal of yours. You treat it like it's a business because it pretty much is. It's a business decision and it's way more important. And if that is a value to you that you need, and it's a goal that like is above everything else, then you got to treat it like that, or it's not going to happen. But it always gets weird when it comes to relationships because people think like, I can't find anyone, no one's going to like me. I can't like I go on these dating apps and I can't find anyone that vibes with me. Blah blah blah. Right. And then they quit. And it's so funny because like they never quit on their business, but then they quit on finding like a relationship or a partner. It's the same type of thing. You got to go out there and meet people, talk to people, get the numbers, etc. But with that being said, like it doesn't mean like to rush into things like I've been saying, right? You know, I know so many entrepreneurs that especially as an entrepreneur when you're building a business, like if you pick the wrong person, you end up getting a divorce. They're gonna take half your business unless you sign a prenup, right? But uh, yeah, so you got to make like a really important decision with that and stick to it. Um, but yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that anymore. But I would just say this. I would say, you know, you got to stop treating your personal foundation as like separate from your business strategy, like putting relationships or personal life separate from your business life. Like you have to build your business or build your life or find the right partner to create the life that you want, right? You can't just separate them and try to build them both separately. Like they're all one, right? Um, and you have to, put the pieces together and the decisions that you make to hit your 10-year vision. And that includes who you're with, that includes who you partner with, that includes how you build your business, etc. But yeah, that's really all I got today on this episode. Nothing too cool business wise to talk about, but I think this is really important, and something that entrepreneurs do not talk about enough. Um, so basically, yeah, and I need like a closing. I needed something to close out with. First of all, I need to get an intro going. So if anybody has any ideas for like a cool intro and how to start these off, that'd be cool. I need to figure one out to like be catchy, and then an outro as well. I guess that's really it. But yeah, thank you all for listening. If this episode like landed with you, definitely share it. Share it to other operators. Share it to people that maybe are going through, you know, maybe they're really far ahead in their business and they're trying to, find the one to continue building their life with. I don't know. I'm not a relationship counselor or anything, but it's pretty logical or it's common sense to me, just from my experience of how I just from my experiences. That's just like how I feel about it. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one, and peace out.